Well, everybody, how about them Auburn Tigers this past weekend, getting the job done on the road at Florida for the first time in 30 years, and Coach Pearl, Stephen Pearl that is, gets his signature win on the year. War damn Eagle, don't doubt us again. However, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Sports Lovers. In today's video, it is kind of a pre-recorded video for you guys. I'm going to be trying and to explain this new AHSAA reclassification system. I know I mentioned it on Friday when these got announced that I'll have a video on Monday breaking them down, and that's true. I'm going to get this video out for you guys, kind of explain what's happening, what's the reason why that they are, of course, going to be kind of reclassified. This is pre-recorded because I'll be at the Senior Bowl press conference on Monday afternoon. And, of course, I've got stuff going on in my life, like work and stuff like that, leading up until said press conference. But if you are into sports, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. And without further ado, let us go ahead and hop into this AHSAA reclassification system announcement. Okay, so basically what the AHSAA did, and I will put this up on the screen here, the AHSAA pretty much just kind of took the private schools, I guess you would say, and they did away and basically did their whole region to themselves. So schools like St. Paul's, UMS Wright, St. Michael Catholic, all of those guys will be in one region together. We'll talk about what that means for AHSAA playoffs and stuff like that here in a second. But first of all, I want to break down these regions so that we can talk about this afterward, which Region 1, there are now 6 regions instead of 7 due to the fact that they are taking private schools and creating them pretty much a whole new region. So we'll talk about that at the end of this, but for now, I just want to go over the new regions with you guys. With Region 1 and 1A, we're going to do the Region 1s because that's kind of where the local ones are. You got Choctaw County, Fruitdale, Leroy, Marengo, McIntosh, Millry, of course, Southern Choctaw, and Washington County there in Region 1. Obviously, I believe that is kind of the 1A schools that were down here. We got to talk about Region 5, by the way, because 5A is actually insane. We'll talk about that here in a second. But moving on to Region 2, you got Chickasaw, Clark County, Hillcrest, J.U. Blackshear, Lavrine, Monroe County, and Thomasville High School. So basically the ones that were in 3A, I believe, just kind of dropped down to 2A due to the fact that the private schools did move on, which is understandable. But 2A Region 1 is officially set with those guys. Moving on to 3A Region 1, we have Escambia County, Excel High School, Flomation, Jackson, Opp, T.R. Miller, Wilcox, and W.S. Neal. So all your guys that were in 4A pretty much dropped down again. Moving on, then, of course, we do have 4A Region 1, BC Rain, Centronel, LaFleur Magnet, Orange Beach, Satsuma, Viger, and Williamson. Again, most of those guys were in 5A, and they'll be moving down to 4A because of the whole situation we'll talk about. Then, 5A Region 1, this gets pretty insane. You got Baldwin County, Alberta, Gulf Shores, Blount, Murphy, Saraland, Spanish Fort, and Theodore. That's 8 teams right there, I believe. That is insane for one region. There are 32 regions in 5A, or 32 teams rather, schools in 5A football. Absolutely insane. Going to be the biggest playoff bracket for sure when it comes to football, basketball, baseball, and of course volleyball, softball, all of that stuff. But 5A Region 1, absolutely insane. It's stacked with Spanish Fort High School. Of course, you got Saraland, Theodore, Baldwin County is on the rise. Gulf Shores is on the rise as well. Lots of stacked schools in there for 5A Region 1. And it's going to be a very tough region for sure. Then, round us out with 6A Region 1. Pretty much all of the schools that were in 7A. Alma Bryant, Baker, Davidson, Fairhope, Foley, MGM, and Robertsdale there in 6A Region 1. Now, let's talk about the private schools, because the private school, they just got added their own competition, and I'm very curious to see how the playoff system for private schools are going to work. Obviously, I don't think there's any information regarding that when it comes to football, and of course, the announcement that they made, but let us talk about this private AA Region 1 first of all. Faith Academy, Glenwood, Houston Academy, McGill-Tulane, Montgomery Catholic, St. Paul's, St. Michael, and UMS Wright are all in Region 1 of private schools. So, like I said, pretty much what they did was the AHSAA took all the private schools and made them their own region. We'll also talk about private school Region 2 here in a minute, just to kind of break it down even further. You got American Christian Academy, Briarwood Christian, John Carroll, Lee Scott, Madison Academy, Randolph School, St. John Paul, and then, of course, Westminster Christian Academy as well. So, with that being said, with all of these regions, here's what I am most curious on, and I'm most curious on the fact on scheduling. Are the private school that usually play public schools like Saraland, St. Paul's usually play each other, Spanish Fort, St. Paul's usually play each other, UMS Wright usually plays a couple of non-private schools as well. Are those guys going to only have to play against their private school, or will they schedule other schools in there as well? So I'm very curious on that. I don't know if the AHSAA is going to keep it at an 11-game season, I believe, is what it normally is for football. So I will be very interested to see that. But I just wanted to go over with this kind of this new AHSAA format, I guess you would say, for the championships. And I'm very curious to see how playoff football is going to change. But you guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Again, I will be at Senior Bowl all week, so we'll have player interviews, we'll have practice clips, we'll have, of course, the press conference. I'll maybe be able to ask the head coach a question or two. So we'll have all of that here within the next week. So stay tuned, hit that sub button, leave a comment down below so you don't miss out on any of the latest videos. Little quick pre-recorded video for you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Peace.